Yeah! Fourth consecutive Hendrick victory! And without further ado, you all know the exact drill, and anybody would have to be a newbie to not know what the tradition is, and fire away. Fourth consecutive Hendrick victory, and I am gonna soak this one up right now. Yeah! Oops, I almost got it on the camera. Oops, my bad. I gotta be more careful with my enthusiasm. Yeah! What can I say? It only goes up from there. Now that they have surpassed the previous winningest team in NASCAR history, it only goes up. The only grind now is the individual grind for each of our men. This is, by the way, the fourth consecutive podium finish for Chase Elliott and fifth top two for Kyle Larson. You have to be smoking up a cyclone or a hurricane to think they won't be championship material this year. Hendrick is the ultimate powerhouse. It's almost as if they have a nuclear power station next to their talent. Where did all this power come from? I'm at a loss for words, if I were to say the very least. Oh, and by the way, it took Kyle Busch his 25th start to get his first win with the 5. And now Kyle Larson is at three Cup career wins in the 5 before the 25th race. How much do you want to bet that Kyle Larson probably is gonna, I don't know, muster up a 4th win before Michigan? Maybe Michigan will be that race that he wins, too. Let's just hope Conrad is that lucky. And you know what? I am just gonna love and soak up every single solitary nanosecond of this golden age us Hendrick fans are living in. And there is nothing the naysayers can do about it. All they can do is whine and pop blood vessels within themselves about how they can't do anything about it because their team is too mediocre to even remotely compete with them. Your team is shit compared to ours. You've got no power on us. Hendrick ain't the fallen empire, ladies and gentlemen. Their journey, their third dynasty is just beginning. It doesn't matter who it is. You're gonna get overwhelmed by all the 4 Hendrick men. And there is nothing you can do to turn it back. You're doomed. Your only hope is to root for drivers not affiliated with Hendrick to even slightly catch up to them. And the only driver that will be able to even remotely have anything on those Hendrick drivers in the Final 4, I were to say, is either Joey Logano or Martin Truex Jr. They got nothing on us. Time to admit it. Hendrick Motorsports is the undisputed GOAT of NASCAR. 3rd win for Kyle Larson. And Chase Elliott finally has got the hiccups out of his system. See, guys, I told you it was only a phase. I told you they would get all the loose ends patched up before it was too late, and here they are. They're title contenders now. And it only goes up from there. Don't be surprised if Chase Elliott, of all people, were to win at Nashville or Bowman at Loudon, New Hampshire. And if I were to say the very least, this was a chaotic race, a fun race from start to finish. One of the big examples where you don't have to be entertained by constant crashes, manufactured drama, drivers doing stupid shit to create a show, a WWE show out onto the racetrack, yada yada yada. There was a lot of interesting pit strategies, and you were always just on the edge of your seat, not knowing whether or not what's going to happen, whether or not a penalty was going to happen, if your driver wasn't going to make it, or there were a lot of situations where they had to pit in order to undertake the entire field. It's no matter what these guys did, they just didn't have anything on Kyle Larson today. Kyle Larson had the ultimate Herculaneum strength. No one had anything on him. He was just basically forged in titanium that was impenetrable by the firepower from the other opponents on the track. Not even Christopher Bell or Anthony Alfredo's tangle completely harvested Kyle Larson's victory from him. Not even a Cody Ware crash completely stole from him. Finally, I can safely say that Kyle Larson did not choke. After so many times of dealing with his domination only to choke when it really mattered at the end, he's finally tied for the winningest driver this season. It was inevitable that this would happen. Because, well, what can I say? He's led the most laps this season, and upwards of almost 1,100 laps if I were to have my memory serve me right. Sorry that I had a bit of a tongue twister there. Chase Elliott finally got all the messy performances, the slow start to the season out of his system. Even when he's not winning, he's still consistently finishing in the podium position, and even if he's not in the podium position, he's finishing somewhere about as bad as just simply 7th. I wouldn't be surprised if he were to win at Nashville, Road America, Watkins Glen for sure, since Chase Elliott to Watkins Glen is basically Jimmy Johnson to Dover, or the Charlotte Roval. He didn't win today, like a lot of people were expecting him to, but he did get his best finish of the second place there at one of his weaker road courses. But hey, it's okay. Kyle Larson was the dominant driver anyway, so I kind of expected Chase Elliott not to win, so it's definitely a graceful L I take. And how about Bowman finishing in, I think it was either 9th place or 8th place? He mustered out of a heavily wounded car after that scuffle with Ross Chastain and Corey LaJoie. And then there were a lot of innocent bystanders. Unfortunately, it took William Byron out of the race, which gave him, or slapped him in the nuts with his first DNF of the season after going on a consistent top 10 streak, where even his worst finish of the Homestead Miami race all the way to the Coca-Cola 600 was 11th. And now it looks like he'll just finish almost dead last. 3rd to last if I were to read the statistics last time I did. So yeah, this was a pretty chaotic race. A lot of people were putting the bumper to each other without dumping each other. Some people even took chances to go 3 wide into a lot of sharp corners. A lot of people even went into the grass without completely spitting out. It was just good old-fashioned road course racing, and I wouldn't have asked for a better race. What's a good race without stakes burning high towards the closing laps? And Kyle Larson survived it all. Both he and Chase Elliott. Sorry about that. Alex Bowman is still seemingly, statistic-wise, the weakest link, but he's still keeping up his top 10 streak. Unfortunately, despite William Byron's efforts, he now officially has his first DNF of the season, but nevertheless, Hendrick Motorsports is absolutely on the right track as they are fully displaying their power. No Pantera reference intended. Ha ha ha. And it only goes up from there. What we are seeing is only the tip of the iceberg. That tie and that surpassing of Petty Enterprise is only the tip of the iceberg, ladies and gentlemen. We still have a lot more memories coming our way. Sorry about that little sneeze right there. I just got a little bit too excited. Just got a little bit more than zealous than I needed to be. So, it happens. It happens. It is what it is. So yeah, I know a lot of people are going to say that this race sucked just because Kyle Larson smacked down the field, even though there were a lot of pit strategies that were changing course of the playing field during that race, and a lot of pass for position, a lot of bold moves, which is exactly what we would expect at short tracks and road courses. Stop saying it sucked just because a driver you can't stand won it. Domination is always going to happen no matter what. Deal with it. You've been dealing with it from Hendrick for 3 fucking decades. Get over yourselves or don't even bother watching the sport. Dominations in sports is always going to happen no matter what. Yes, even if it's from teams or athletes I can't stand. I'm not a big LeBron James fan, but I at least can acknowledge he's quite arguably maybe even better than Michael Jordan, my favorite basketball athlete. It's not that hard to just get over it. It's not that hard to admit that drivers that you're not a big fan of are factually legends. I'm obviously not a fan of Kyle Busch, but I admit that he's a legend. I mean, even his biggest, most unequivocal, passionate haters have to admit that because, well, he is the winningest NASCAR champion on the active field right now. So, I don't know what you guys want me to say. Or what else you guys want me to say. Well, even though Kevin Harvick statistically has a better career and should be at 4 championships by now. But it is what it is, I guess. Whatever. But, nevertheless, Hendrick has not fallen. They have risen from the ashes. It's a sight you all better get used to seeing. Hendrick Motorsports is now the ultimate power in NASCAR. And there is nothing you can do about it. This is what you get. This is what you get for talking down on us for so many years. And now here they are, completely planting your faces into the damn dirt. It's what you get. It's what you get. Let this be a lesson to all you guys who underestimate big names. Egotistical attitudes towards your team who's barely anything, who barely holds a candle to teams like Hendrick Motorsports, or the Patriots, or the Yankees, or the Detroit Red Wings, yada yada yada, is a very risky and dangerous idea. You are nothing short, absolutely nothing short of idiots that are egotistical over Pyrrhic victories. That are only there for short terms. The Hendrick dynasty, the Hendrick power, never left. So yeah, overall a damn awesome race. Everything I'd expect out of a road course race. Didn't have to be constant crashing, didn't have to be constant cautions to put on a show for the fans like it's WWE. Just good old-fashioned road course racing at Sonoma. And it's exactly what you would expect in the Gen 4 days, and I couldn't have loved it more. And it's exactly what you would expect in the later Gen 5 days. So yeah, with this, I'm damn satisfied. And this resembled the earlier days of Gen 6, so I think Sonoma went out with a bang with the last season of the Gen 6. Can't wait to see how Sonoma will play out with the Gen 7. It's gonna be lit.